You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
Welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with Jiggs.
What's up, my man?
So, Jiggs, please inform all the audience and the bugle-loving people out in this world a little bit about what you do professionally.
Apart from loving bugles. Yeah, man. So I work in the agricultural world. I've got quite a rare job, actually. I go around the farms and I clean seed, which is, I say this to people and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, so I'll go to farms. I've got a big machine on a lorry, like a static plant. And I just go around, clean their wheat, barley, beans, whatever they need doing. I'm the man.
That's crazy because you know what? Because I know you do a podcast called it's called the Bugles podcast. But
don't touch the bugles.
Yeah, don't touch the bugles. I love that. It's funny because I always remember as a kid sticking those things on my fingers and acting like itch nails.
Exactly.
But you want to know a really common snack that's actually invented from actually a slip up through history was those little cheese balls, little circular Cheeto type things.
Oh, yeah.
That was created from a gunk, like all the little gunk process, like crap from the animal feed through a machine. A dude decided to scoop it out because the animal feed was like corn and all this stuff. And
yeah.
He took that, rolled it up into a ball, and then decided to taste it. Next thing you know, he had the idea for cheese puffs.
That's the thing. We need people like that to do these crazy, stupid fucking things. So you're like giving us a lot of things we've got in the world nowadays.
So how did you decide to even jump into agriculture?
Oh, it's purely by just like circumstances, really. Because originally, when I left school, I was a barber. I started cutting hair when I was about 14. And I loved that job. Fucking great job. You know, you're meeting new people all the time and you're meeting a good range of people. So, you know, your electric goes, you've got someone who can come around and fix your electric, you know, things like that. You just know people. And on top of that, I used to be a dancer as well. So, you know, I was getting about seeing loads of cool things, meeting cool people. But I'm not sure it's because I started so early, but my wrists got fucked up. And I literally just couldn't cut hair anymore. I was in agony. And I remember I've been to hospitals and stuff and had like the tests. They did like MRI scans and stuff to see if I had like nerve damage and so on and so forth. And the final straw for me was I went to a doctor in Cambridge and he went to do some more nerve tests. And this doctor had one arm. And I was like, he's got one arm. He's a fucking doctor. I need to stop bitching and get on with my life. So I just like come out of barbering. And my old man, dad, I don't know how you term things in America, but my dad was in this job that I'm in. So I was like, just give me a job. I need a job because I've got nothing else. I know what I want to do because I've been doing this since I was a kid. So I sort of fell into it then. I've been doing it ever since. It's been like 16 years now. So
it's funny because you talked about the doctor with the one arm. I had a kid in my school that was in a wheelchair. And I remember one day I was complaining about my shoes hurting, like my feet. And he goes, "Oh, I wish I could feel my fucking feet." And I was like, all right, man. We get it. You can't walk, all right?
You win. Yeah, exactly. You just got to look at it. You look at other things in the world, you know, people that have got these problems. You're like, oh, fuck it. I just need to just man up and get on with it.
So what type of dancing did you do? Now, we talk about dancing. We're not talking about strip club, are we?
No, I had stripped on a few times. Normally on your birthday, it was mandatory. But no, it was mostly like club dancing. So it'd be like you see people on you go to a club, might be in a cage or they might be on a podium, whatever. It's that kind of dancing. And I also did like a 70s show, like around different towns and stuff. Go to the clubs then. There's a club called, I think it's called Hard Rock Cafe, I think it used to be called in around towns. They're all shut down now, but they used to sort of play that sort of old style music. So we'd go and do like a stage show in clubs like that, like every Wednesday.
Which did you prefer, being a barber or being a dancer?
Oh, they're both awesome. I couldn't pick one which was better. They were both awesome.
Honestly, it's the best of both worlds, because if you look at it, like being a barber, it's like being a bartender. You're going to meet new people every single day, and it's going to bring you into some stories. I mean, how many times do you go to an actual barber shop and all they do is just sit there and talk and tell you about all these people they've met, tell you all these stories they've heard, and then they're constantly having the new gossip around town.
Oh, hell yeah. You know everything. And people confide in you. You know, you meet people for the first time. They come in. We had a walk-in system. We weren't booking. So, we were always busy, but always people coming in. And like a stranger would come in, someone you've never met, and they're willing to tell you everything about their life, things you do not need to know. You're like, what the fuck are you telling me this for? I don't know you, but they do. They confide in their barbers. It's crazy the stuff you hear from people.
Half of the time, I just feel like I'm already so comfortable by letting them have knives and scissors around the side of my head and stuff. It's like I'm just going to start telling them everything. And I feel like once they start going, so what are your view on politics? I'm just like, what are your view on politics? And like, are you a Trump fan? I'm like, Trump's awesome. Trump's amazing, man. I can tell you, yeah, he's doing everything. And just start going off into them, and they're just like, yeah, I know, right? And it's like, yeah, just hurry up and get the haircut over with so I can get out of this situation.
Obviously, I don't know the full. We hear things because American news and politics and everything is quite but they talk about it a lot over here. There's a lot of things that go. I mean, you're a big country in that, and obviously you speak the same languages and so forth. But a lot of what you have over there does make its way over here. Even like your music, your films. Most of the popular things in this country are from your country. But what is this whole Trump thing, man? Is it really as mental as we hear it is?
It's really not. And it's funny because every person I podcast with that's from another country, that's the first thing they bring up is the gun problem and then all these things. And I just try and show them it's like a stereotype, it's like you hear so much about it. And then like everyone in Texas, for me would be like wearing a cowboy hat and walking around and having a horse. And that's not true at all, because I podcast with people that are from Texas and they're vaping and they have a snapback on. They don't care. Like they're nothing like that. It's just,
go on.
With Trump and everything, it's, I have a theory on this I've talked about before in the podcast where it comes to why people are so pro-Trump, and that's because he's for immigration. We don't like change. A lot of people don't like change.
No, a lot of people don't.
Too much stuff in your house changes. You get a little freaked out. You feel uncomfortable. Well, a lot of people in this country are either Christian or Catholic. There wasn't any other really form of religion. So now with immigration happening, you're seeing religion become like where it's at now. Coming into 2020, we have probably the lowest percentage of people in this country that are Christians. That's really never happened before. There's always two things the government has never been able to test. And to not repeat myself like I have before in the podcast, but, the government is always really afraid of two things, religion and people. They can split up the people easily because all they need is some trend or some topic. Someone got shot or something, and our mind gets taken off of what the government's doing or whatever the big picture is, or some conniving things. Well, religion has always stood the test of time, but where it's becoming at this point now where it's not as strong as it once was, you're seeing things happen just like recently. 4 priests from the Vatican got arrested and documents were seized. That has never happened in history. It was a big thing.
No.
It was a big thing in the news. And like I said, it's all media too. It plays a really bad image on whatever country you're in, because we as people want to be aware. We want to know what's going on around us. We want to know everything, every little detail, what's going on in someone's life, better insights onto things. You just want to be aware. Mm-hmm. And it's at such a form now with technology. It's reaching so many people at such a dangerous rate, especially like the first thing, I'm eating Raisin Bran in the morning or something. Next thing I know, it's telling me there were 4 shootings, and you're just like, turn it off. And then you just walk around your day like it's nothing because you're getting so used to it. It's like, you're
numb to it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like, the song Comfortably Numb. It's like that's what it's ended up turning into. It's like for me, like I love that you have, Queen album on your wall, and then you also have NWA and Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's all stuff I listen to. My parents are both into broadcasting, they're both DJs. So I had the musical background and influence. And I just tell people, like, when you search for bad stuff and you just constantly look at the news, you're going to be fixed with bad emotions. So why don't you turn that into another way? Instead of listening to talk radio or something that's displaying the news on your car, turn to music. Turn to something that's enjoyable. Turn to something you actually want to listen to. That's going to show emotion, but in a different form.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. It's, I mean, we all, I think we've all got a right to know, like, things that are going on, like important things that, that affect our lives. But yeah, no, I can give a fuck what so and so celebrities have for their breakfast and all this kind of shit. Things that that are in social media and in the media that people hook onto, like the whole, more so on celebrity stuff. But I'm really interested to know what's going on in the world that affects me. And so obviously on the politics now, all the bullshit we've got going on here with the fucking Brexit shit, it's just constant crap every day. And I've totally lost. I mean, I don't even know what's going on anymore with this country. It's just,
I don't need to check the news anymore because it's just the same thing being played in a different way. The fact
worded differently.
yeah, it's the same concept over and over again. People feel like they're mistrusted because they found some information, then people are trying to cover up the information. I'm like, it would just be simple if the government just said, hey, we have this. Do you want to know about it or do you not want to know about it? And the people that want to know, if they end up getting fucked up afterwards, like I didn't want to see that, then hey, that's your fault. You went into
looked.
Like how many times did you like go downstairs on Christmas and you peeped into the present? You're like, damn, I really wish I would have saved that until it was a surprise the next day. But
there was that. Yeah.
It's ridiculous a little bit. But I mean, I even forgot my main question. I usually ask someone from another country. So why do you drive on the wrong side of the road?
Man, fuck you.
Yeah, they always
we
give
drive
me
on the
that
right
answer.
side.
They always give me that answer, and I love it. I'm like, it's just because we're Americans and we do what we do.
Well, yeah, well, it's Australia on the same side of us, weren't they, as well? I think it's just it's the rest of Europe and America. You don't know what you're doing.
We're resistant to change. We're trying to innovate it in a new way, but it's like when Coke changed their flavor, and then people are like, "Why the hell did you do that? Like, it didn't make any sense. Just stick with the original recipe." Like Colonel Sanders says it best: "Don't fuck with the Colonel's chicken." Like,
hell no.
Keep it the same. You can spice it up and do another thing, but nah, there's always going to be that original recipe.
Yeah, I hate when anyone fucks up when changes recipes on things. But I'm a Pepsi man anyway. If you want to start a war on things, but yeah.
Dude, I didn't even understand the difference in taste until like last year. I've been drinking them like they all taste the same. And my grandmom's like, maybe if you didn't drink it in 2 seconds, you'd be able to actually taste it. And I was like, why are you just going to sit there and enjoy something? What's wrong with
you? Do you smoke?
Occasionally vape a little bit.
Oh, right, because smokers normally have their taste of things isn't normally as refined, is it?
It depends on I guess what would you be talking about? Like I mean I've smoked weed.
Cigarettes. Yeah, I mean,
cigarettes,
you're a cigarette smoker. Yeah.
Are you a cigarette smoker?
No, hell no. My body's a temple.
I think when because I took addiction counseling and stuff when I first started school, then ended up branching off into psychology. I was like, just an addiction, like same thing. People can get addicted to food. When you start smoking a lot of cigarettes, you get hungry less. It's known as a sedative. It kind of fills you up. But it also, if you start to wean off cigarettes or something like that, you start drinking a massive amount of something else, or you start eating a massive amount of something else. People put on weight after it, and I know someone that I work with. I mean, they never eat. Their body is really out of shape. Like it seems like they'd be super thin, but they're not. And they just smoke and they keep doing it every single day, a pack a day. I'm like, damn, like how do you, and you can tell it now, like when they try and talk, it's like they have to,
oh, gotcha.
Like, I'm like, whoa.
Well, my dad smokes 40 cigarettes a day. And I remember when I was a kid, I went away because I say he's my stepdad. I went away on holiday with my real dad, and I'd come back and he'd quit smoking that when I was away. And I come back and he was the most miserablest shit I've ever met. And I think me and my sister at the time, because we had like pocket money when we were young, we gave our pocket money to our mum. I was like, please buy this man some cigarettes because we could not deal with this miserable bastard. So he's back on and he's been smoking ever since. But yeah, he smokes 40 a day, man, which is just madness. I'm amazed the guy's alive. I'm amazed. But yeah, he's proper out of shape. big fat round motherfucker.
I think at that point, like, especially when you get older, like my grandfather said it best, like I work out every day. My grandfather's like, he's like, I don't need to get in shape. I'm like, why? He's like, cause I'm old. I can just do whatever the hell I want. And I was like, yeah, you got a life to live, dude. Like I try and rationalize like addiction and stuff. Like I'm addicted to the gym and there are people that are addicted to like cigarettes or something. But then when I went to addiction counseling and went to all this stuff to kind of learn more for my education and everything, and My grandmom said it best. She goes, I smoked for 30 years. And I was like, and then what happened? And she goes, I stopped. And I was like, how'd you stop? She's like, cigarettes went up in price. And I said, fuck this, and threw it away. I said, you just did that. But some people have that mentality. Some people have that
That's the thing. Yeah.
thing about them. It's really, really strange.
Yeah. You need that mentality. I mean, I don't sound addicted to anything, but I mean, like, obviously you messaged me earlier, like whatever time it was, 4 a.m. your time, and you're in the gym. I mean, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, I'll be back there in a couple hours. That was just an early morning cardio session.
I mean, I'd be cool with that because well, in general, I do look after myself. I'm pretty fit. I mean, I do a lot of running. You know, I mean, I've done like 40-mile races, and I do a lot of Tough Mudders. I do one every year and stuff. But I slipped a herniated disc in my back earlier on in the year, and it paralyzed me just threw me right out. I got to A&E like twice within like 2 weeks. It happened again, and I've just not been able to get back into it. Like, I mean, I've been busy at work. Obviously, like I said, I work in agriculture. It's like harvest time, so I've been working since the end of July. I've been pretty much working 7 days a week, just like crazy hours. Like, you start from maybe 4 in the morning, finish 12 at night if the day needs it, sort of thing. But I really need to get back into it so badly. But it's just, I went to the gym the other day, ran for about 2 minutes on the treadmill, and my body's just not right. Something's not quite back in place yet. So I just got to keep toughing up, and hopefully I'll be back at it. But I'm envious that you can do that at the moment. But
I hate running.
But I still wouldn't be doing it at 4 in the morning.
I hate running. It's more like, for me, I pulled out of high school. I pulled this like little mental scarring from bullying where I was kind of overweight as a kid. So once I developed the 6-pack, I've been going every day to the gym for like 7 years now. And I don't miss a day. It's like kind of psychological, a little bit dysmorphia. But like, I got into a jet ski accident my senior year. I was a jet ski guide, and I was for a couple of years after too. But I was hit by a jet ski, and I thought my back was fine, but I actually ripped all my muscles in my back. So now I can't pick up things properly. I have to wear a belt when I squat. I can't do deadlifts anymore. That's just not even a thing. Trying to bend down, I look like that.
Anyway.
Like my buddy's like, do you have to shit? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you're trying to pick up a quarter and you look like you have to shit. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh man, that's fucking funny. No, it's bad though, isn't it? Because you think you're. I mean, what you say? You're 21.
Yeah.
That's hard going. It's obviously, you know. I mean, I'm 36. You know, you're a lot younger than I am. So I mean, that's. I can imagine it's quite hard to deal with in one way.
It's weird because when you see your body age, it starts to look like it doesn't hold up as much.
Like, yeah, it's true. Don't.
Like, I'm 21, but I work out every day. So like, even getting out of bed some days, my knee will just pop, and I'm like, well, that's just the thing now. So I'm just like, okay, well, guess I got to deal with that. But then I look at my grandfather, and he's like, when I go to bend down and pick something up, he looks at me, and all he hears like, you sound like someone's grabbing bubble wrap and twisting it, and he's he looks at me, he goes, how fucking old are you? He goes, I thought I had problems getting out of bed. I was like, what, your back and hips and knees and all that don't crack like that? He goes, I don't think that's right, man. And I'm like, it's probably not, but you know what? I'm functioning. I'm held together by duct tape and Powerade.
Powerade. Because, I mean, if you want to go and get shit sorted over at home, you got to pay for everything, haven't you? Everything's got to be paid for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're all good over here. Like, I'm sure you're aware of. You know, we got them issues. They put us on the list, and we get looked at some point. It's paid for.
I don't even have medical insurance, bro. I threw that out the window. Like, I was like, look, because the medical industry fucked me over in a big way. With like John Hopkins, they took like 17 vials of my blood, and then I never heard back from them. So I waited 8 months, and I kept calling them. No answer, no response, no results sent over. Then it was like a couple of years ago, they sent me a letter in the mail. It was an attorney's office telling me that I could sue John Hopkins for malpractice. And I was like, all right, fuck this shit. Ripped it up, threw it away. Then I got a letter recently, like a couple of months ago, a few years later. And they're like, the doctor that did the testing on you was fired, and he goes, you're part of 100 and or not 100 650 cases or something that they've uncovered, that there was legal action that we could be taking against Johns Hopkins, this profound hospital. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I haven't.
It's supposed to be one of the top medical things in, at least in this state, or not in the state, but in this country. And I'm like, wait a minute. So what does this mean? I called the people. They're like, oh, you're just one of the cases that it happened to, but you can sue them. And I'm like, me going against a top hospital, I don't have the fucking money to do any of that.
That ain't gonna be cheap, is it?
I was like, they could just keep the blood. If they want to clone me, I'll be more than happy to podcast with myself. What's it like being a test tube baby?
Oh my God.
So how did you branch off and do something called like, Don't Touch My Bugles podcast? Like, where did this idea, first of all, come from?
Well, there's 6 of us, we're good mates. And you sit around and you chat shit, don't you? And like you have a laugh, and you think like, well, we're on a laugh. And obviously podcasts are a hot topic right now, aren't they? I mean, every fucker's dog's got a podcast. So we were like, should we give this podcast thing a go? But the whole Bugles thing is we went out for a day out in a town called Nottingham, and we basically go out on the piss like all day, and we started making it an annual thing. But on the first year we were at the train station getting home, and there was this girl on the train station, and we brought some like roadies to come take back home with us, some drinks, some crisps. We like Bugles, so we brought some Bugles, and this bitch just like trying to take our crisps, and we're like, love, get your own food, I'm not sharing with you. And eventually, she just, with the train doors open, she grabbed the packet off one of the boys and just ran in there. So he chased her down the train, like grabbed his crisp back, and he literally went like, "Don't touch my fucking Bugles, love." And we just found that funny.
Holy shit!
Yeah, we went. Oh well, obviously, do you have WhatsApp in America? I'm sure you have WhatsApp.
You can take my house, but don't take my fucking Bugles.
Yeah, tell me Bugles. So that ended up being our WhatsApp group name for us lot. And then when we made the podcast, it just seemed right. That's what we're going to fucking call it. So that's what it is. And we all have a tattoo of a bugle on our body as well.
At what point in your life did you might think that the person is tattooing you and you go, "Can I get a bugle on my body?" The person just goes, like, "You want a horn on your arm? Is that what you want? You want a horn?" "No, I want a fucking bugle." They're like,
"You want a fucking crisp, baby."
If I'm that tattoo artist, first thing I'm asking you is, what flavor are you trying to get? Do you want the spicy, the original?
We don't have that spicy over it. We don't have the spicy. We don't have the Cool Ranch that you have. I think you've got peanut butter ones over there. We don't have any of that here.
Peanut butter bugles?
Yeah, well, I've seen them in America. We don't have that over here.
Oh man, dude, I've been out of the chip aisle for so long. I used to eat a bag of Doritos in one sitting in my high school years and flush that down with 4 20-ounce Red Bulls. Then when I started working out, dude, I was sweating nothing but spicy nacho for the first week I was working out, to the point where
stinging your eyes and shit.
I literally don't go over to that aisle anymore. Like my buddy, he's like, "Dude, did you see the new Oreos flavor?" I'm like, "What is?" He's like, "Dude, it's wasabi." I'm like, "What the fuck what's happening?" I go by this store, they have Lace chips, and they have fucking, what is it? It's all conspiracy, I'm telling you. They have biscuits and gravy. What is that? What is that?
Let's just get this straight though. When you say biscuit, what's a biscuit?
Like you're eating a Thanksgiving dinner biscuit, like the roll.
Right now, biscuit over here is something with chocolate on.
No, it's literally a biscuit and like it has a picture of like a biscuit and gravy. And then they have one like mashed potatoes. And they have one that's the best one I think I've tried probably was dill pickle.
Nice.
That was really good because we had a kid at my work doing jet skis. His name was Dylan, so we call him Dill Pickle. So we'd always bring in a bag of like dill pickle chips and just throw it at him while he's on a jet ski.
Is that why was it him that ran the jet ski into you?
Well,
payback.
No, mine was just some renter that wasn't paying attention. I was like stopped moving in the water, and I was looking at the whole crowd behind me that's following me, like follow the duck, and or follow the leader. And he just went up me like a ramp, straight up, jet ski to my chest.
Man.
I took it like a champ, dude.
Clearly, you're telling the story.
The DNR guy told me he's at the Department of Natural Resources. He's basically the police on the water. He came up to me. He's like, if you'd be sitting down right now, you would be dead. I was like, why? He goes, that jet ski would have went 50 miles an hour into your face. I was like, oh, so it hit me in the chest. That means so I'm alive, so I'm good, right? He goes, actually, no, your back looks pretty messed up. I'm like, oh, great.
That's
That
horrible, man.
wasn't even the painful part. The painful part was when they were trying to help me by getting me to the hospital. They have to sit you down on this boat or lay you down on your back on the hard ass fucking porcelain, whatever the hell it is, fiberglass floor. And the dude's holding your neck in an awkward position. And then you're just looking up. And I'm literally like, dude, honestly, I was fine in the water after the jet ski hit me. You're hurting me right now by doing this. And they go to pull the stretcher out, and they're like, I just go, no, fuck that. I'll walk. And I just started limping to the ambulance. And they're just walking with the stretcher like, I guess he can walk.
Jesus Christ. No, man, after I did my back, I was literally slept on the living room floor for like 8 weeks. Had to be hard. Had to have something hard to lie on. Couldn't lie on the bed at all.
It's funny because the guy who hit me, he worked at this, it's called a CVS. It's a department store. It's like a little pharmacy, like one of your, like whatever you would get to go get like Advil or something from down the street.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my dad's like, I'm not going to give you Valium when the doctor offered it. He's like, because that's just a very addicting. So I'll go get you some painkillers or something for your back. And I'm like, all right, cool. We can just do that. So he's driving me home. We stop at this CVS and my dad comes out and goes, I think the guy that hit you is in there. And I'm like, what do you mean the guy that hit me is in there? He goes, the guy fucking works here. I'm like, oh my God, the guy where I got my painkillers from that hit me, what's the reason I had to take the painkillers, worked at that fucking CVS.
It is a conspiracy. That motherfucker's trying to get business.
Every time I went after that, dude, I would walk in there, I'd just stare him down. I wouldn't buy anything. I just stare him down.
Fucking hell, I'm supposed to try and murder him.
You're the reason I look like I shit when I'm bending down.
Do you fuck with anything like CBD or anything for
I
pain?
tried like for a while. I not really for pain, mostly just because I have insomnia, so it's hard for me to sleep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I tried maybe CBD, melatonin. Dude, I have a 240 capsule thing of melatonin. It's like a 5 milligram little tabs. I took 20 of those suckers, nothing. I can literally drink a pot of coffee, go right to bed. But then if I'm trying to take melatonin or trying to take CBD or anything, it doesn't do anything on me.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Even with an edible.
I'm the same with coffee. I mean, I could drink coffee to my, until I'm full to the top. That doesn't do like anything for me in that sense, like the caffeine. But yeah, no. CBD. As soon as I started taking that, I was noticing I've definitely improved. Totally.
What types of things do you see to improve?
I came off the because I couldn't go without my meds at the time, which the boys all laughed about. But what I was actually taking was suppositories. So they were taking the piss out because obviously having to shove a tablet up my ass 3 times a day.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, but it fucking did the job, compared to, and obviously taking them fucking like orally, it fucks with your liver. It's no good for you. So I found them good, but I couldn't go without them. I needed to have them. I was in pain, but I started taking it within 3 to 4 days. I came straight off the, I took dosage down of what I was taking med-wise. Obviously see if I can cope, and perfect.
You went from don't touch my bugles to don't touch my suppositories.
Don't touch my suppositories.
Dude, I did a suppository once. It was like a laxative and you had to do it like a suppository. Man, That was the most uncomfortable thing in the world. I'll never forget the doctor's like, I can do it for you. And I was like, dude,
get the fuck out of here.
I literally said, if anybody's shoving their hand up my ass, it's going to be me. And he just looked at me. He's like, respect. And I was like, I haven't done this before. So this is something I have to do. So I just it's the most uncomfortable thing too, just trying to do it. Cause you're like, how can I go about this? Do I just jam it up there? Do I, ease it in? Do I play like some good old Barrington, Levy on the, phone or some smooth jazz?
Get some candles lit.
Yeah. Get the mood set. I mean, what's the mood? What type of candle flavor or what candle scent is good for shoving a suppository up your ass? mint juleps. Like, come on. Like, what?
That's Elton John.
Living on a prayer, dude. I'm telling you.
But yeah, no, man. It is weird. But you don't have to do a lot, to be fair, because about being grim gets to that point where it just goes, sucked it up.
That, like you said, though, it does do the trick, because, man. But it was, it did the trick, but it was not the way I wanted it to at all.
No.
Like my buddy's like, hey man, I know you're going through some stuff right now, but just text me if you need anything from the store. And like, not even like 10 minutes after, I was like, I don't think it worked. I sent him a text. The next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom sending him Snapchats like, oh shit, somebody needs to go to the store and pick me up Powerades. I'm losing way too much. It's like, is it that bad? I'm like, dude, this is like, we're going to need to get a new house after this. So wait, what, did Bugles just like become just from that incident you guys decided to start a podcast, or was this something like you guys like kind of as friends would buy together all the time, like just the Bugles and stuff? Like, is that just an average chip thing on the streets there? Or? Yeah,
no. With it is an average chip. Yeah. It's literally that situation was what started it. That walk. We ate them anyway. It just happened we picked them up that day, and that was what started the whole thing because of what that girl nicking them.
So it doesn't kind of really, your podcast isn't just about Bugles. It's about just kind of random topics.
Oh yeah, exactly. We just chat shit. We'll have a topic every week, which we'll chat about, random, whatever we pick up on. And we'll talk about weird shit we've seen in the week, like some, and obviously there's crazy shit that goes on in the world. So we'll have a laugh about whatever that is. But it's just, just having a chat, having a laugh. We've never had any guests on or anything like that.
It's a good
thing. Obviously you do this on your own. I've listened to a few. And what you're doing is, it's a one-to-one conversation with lots of different people. But obviously, there's 6 of us. We're not always there every week, but there's 6 of us, so there's no need for outsiders to join in on a.
You're not relying on guests and stuff too. Like,
exactly. We've got each other, so exactly.
I mean, when I first started doing it, I was just having people that I knew come over, but they were new people. But I was also like, we all have these like thoughts and stuff in the world. Why don't we try and see if who's like, who you're going to vibe with? Just taking the time to have a conversation with someone, first of all, it's the big step. But I mean, some of my funnest episodes are what I call bonus episodes. They're the little 0.5s and out of the blank. And it's like, this is just me and my buddies coming over and shooting the shit. I remember one of them we did. I found out this research study they took. It takes about 7 days for you to decide to eat somebody when you're starving. So I looked at my buddy. I was like, how long until we're on an island together? There's no food or anything. Who's eating who first? And he just looks at me. He goes, I don't think I would eat you. And I just looked at him and go, dude, I would bash your head upside with a coconut and I would take you out real quick if I started getting hungry. He goes, what about just like taking a small piece? I'm like, nah, man, you ain't gonna let me stop at your hand, dude. You're gonna be like,
you're gonna be the week's food. Yeah, no, you gotta go for the bigger guy, right? Yeah, surely.
Yeah, you gotta go for the big. I mean, how many times you go into the store and you just buy the small bag of chips? Now you're buying the big ass bag of Bugles.
Hell yeah, of course you are.
You're like, in case I want more later.
Exactly. No, yeah, you gotta go for the big guy. Always the big guy. We've got a big guy in the group. I think we'd definitely choose him first.
Yeah, more
There's
meat.
Nothing wrong with that. More meat, exactly.
More meat.
Gotta eat.
Yeah, gotta eat. Gotta make it last too.
Exactly, man.
Slice off a little bit of that calf. Give me some of that.
There's plenty of that calf.
I think it's funny because there's like a lot of weird shit in the world that people don't even choose to question. Like, I mean, the people that wear socks and then also wear sandals on top of it. You're like,
oh, don't even start with that shit, man. That's just.
It's like your feet are cold. Yeah. Then why are you wearing that? Why don't you just wear a shoe? It has more coverage to it.
My father-in-law does that sometimes, and I just have to just look at him with like disapproving eyes, like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, what's one thing I would like if I asked you, what's one thing that you've seen out in the UK that you question a little bit? Like you see someone there, like, did that really just fucking is that person really doing that right now?
The main thing which you see a lot nowadays is people in tight lycra sports gear that haven't looked at a gym in their whole fucking life. And yeah. I can't deal with that, man. It's like, what made you go in the store and buy some tight fitted lycra, and it's normally cheap lycra, so you can normally see through it. You can see exactly what underwear they got on and all types of shit. And it's like, why are you wearing that? Just put some jeans on or some trousers, whatever, a dress, a skirt, male or female, whatever. But just why are you wearing that?
Look, I guarantee you when I go to the gym in a little bit, there's going to be a kid in there that just started working out that's wearing a tank top, and he's going to be wearing a snapback and flexing and thinking he knows how to work out. I never wear a tank top. I don't even do it at home. I don't do it because, and my arms look like someone could shove a football under them. That's how, like, they're really, really ripped. But it's not to show off myself. I did it for self-improvement. But then there's people that just go to the gym once. They're like, oh, yeah, went to the gym, bro, got my pump. Those people piss me off. It's not the people it's not the people that are there that are trying to change their life, because I came from that point too, and I stuck with it. But it's the people that glorify, like, I'm the hottest thing in the world. Like, I remember one girl, she came in, I mean, all makeuped up, not gym ready, but wearing leggings and all the gym attire. And she just stretched. But I was bench pressing, and she, like, when I got up to kind of take my breath or whatever, and she would sit there and bend over right in front of me. And she wasn't doing it for me. She was just doing it to get someone to look at her, basically. Because everyone else at my gym, it's a 24-hour place. So, like, they're all older, retired people. And that you'll get the average, like, kid that wanders off the street or something in there. And she's just bending down in front of me. And she turns around and goes, can you stop looking at my ass? And I'm looking down because the whole place is a mirror. It's all mirrors everywhere. So I'm looking at the mirror, and I'm actually looking at myself and seeing how fat I am in my shirt.
She wanted you to look at her ass.
Yeah. And she's like, stop looking at my ass. I was like, honey, I'm looking at myself right now. And I'm like, I could be doing this to fix that. I could be doing this. And I started telling her, and she's like, you have the brain of like a girl. Like, you judge your image more than I do. And I was like, yeah. I was like, so why the fuck would you think I'd be judging you? I was like, your ass is, I want one like a tree trunk, not a freaking stick. Sorry.
There is like things I can't. I've chatted with the boys before as well. Like, we're talking about things I like at the gym, and no, anyone who's got a snapback on in the gym, what are you there for? You are literally there to take Instagram pictures of yourself. That's all you're there for.
The best video I've ever seen about the gym is they did a nature documentary on the people that work there. And this wanted me to do a nature documentary in my everyday life, just walking on the street. Look at this man right here. It did not pay his toll meter. He's what we call an asshole. It's like it just start going and doing these types of things. And like my cousin, he had a video, and so he went down to the garage at the time and smoked some weed. And I figured that he was just stoned, and he sent me some stupid video of him outside taking a video of a spider. And I was like, so I totally glossed over it. He goes, dude, you see that video? I was like, yeah, how high are you to think I would enjoy that? He goes, did you watch it? I was like, no, it's a fucking spider. He goes, watch it. Dude. He literally captured nature in its purest form. It's this spider caught a fly in its web. He zoomed in on it. So it's like up close. You can see the spider come down, grab its string or whatever, its web, wrap the fly's head, come back up, and do it 10 or 9 times just to fully wrap up the fly. Yep. And then he bit into its head, and he got it all on video. It's like a 5-minute video. I was sitting there like, bro, we got to do a nature documentary. So like we were trying to voice it over, and we were trying to do all this. He's like, you need to start doing Australian accents. I was like, all right, I'm doing. Like we were getting all into it. I was gonna have a bunch of people because we saw this video. It's Snoop Dogg, and they had him on the take Animal Planet videos, like nature, and it's pure. Okay. And he sees the snakes and everything. Goes, holy shit! Look at them snakes! And it's like this Animal Planet like video, but it's just Snoop Dogg in the.
I need to watch that because
dude, it is so.
The way Snoop explains shit anyway, and the way he talks is hilarious.
Wait a minute, are those mongooses? Oh shit! Don't fuck with a mongoose. He's like, it's too funny.
To be fair though, you like people, who smoke weed or do mushrooms and stuff, they're seeing this shit that like us everyday people aren't seeing. Well, so we're not paying attention, are we?
We're not real anymore. And this actually got me really fascinated about you're going to think this is like a weird kind of tangent, but a little bit about mental disorders when it comes to the concept of what we call retarded or mentally challenged, mostly because it seems like they see the world in a different aspect of things. You know, they shout simple things out, such as, you know, bright, bright. And then they're just really looking at like a candle and seeing the flame flicker. And they're like, oh, it's bright, like a fire, something like that. And you're like, that's just a primitive way of thinking. It's like, or are they just seeing the realest things? Like I remember driving in my car, and my buddy, his brother is mentally challenged, and he would just say blue really, really loud, blue, blue. And when I'm like, wait a minute, like, what is he saying blue for? And then I noticed that he's looking at the sky and noticing how blue it was, to the point where we all parked the car and we just sat outside staring at it. Like it was just, it was amazing. Like some of those realist moments.
It's hard, isn't it? Because obviously we always look at people like that and just think, you know, we can't relate. You know, that whatever they're thinking is not worth knowing, sort of thing. Like that's because obviously they've got special needs and stuff. But yeah, like you said, you know, they might be seeing things for what they really are, which we just gloss over because it's something we don't have time for. Too busy, like I say, we're too busy looking at fucking what someone's got for dinner on Instagram and shit. You know, we're not paying attention to the world and what's good out there.
And now you're seeing people not even, it's like life is simple, and that's the best thing about it too, but we make it extremely complicated. The fact that now when you're on your phone, you're already thinking about 30 other things. That's been a giant problem in my life because I have ADHD. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking of a million other things. And, you know, it goes great for podcasting, making sure there's no dead air, but it's not fun in everyday life. The fact that like I'm up all night trying to get some sleep and my thoughts just keep running wild. Like they're just,
it's tiring. It's tiring. But at the same time, because you can't stop, you can't sleep. So it's just a long rotating cycle of just being more and more tired. You just don't, then things just don't get done. But obviously you're not like that, because judging by what I've seen, you're always busy. You're keeping yourself busy constantly.
I'm pretty fucking lazy, to be honest with you. There are times I'm just sitting around in my sweatpants. Like on my day off, I do not really leave the house unless it's like to get groceries or something. But like, my mom's like, you're up since like 1 a.m., man. Like, go to bed. I'm like, I can't go to sleep. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it to the benefit of my life, and I'm going to do podcasts. I'm going to do something where it expands my own knowledge, something I enjoy doing, instead of just sitting on my phone playing freaking Dragon City or Angry Birds. I'm going to freaking actually do something that's like beneficial to me knowledge wise. Like, I mean, when I start speaking, people are like, you're pretty intelligent. I'm like, I don't show that in my everyday life because I like to look at the humorous side of life too, because I feel like we already take things way too serious. I'm like, it's so easy to slow down. And even coming from my view, like it takes me a lot to get there. But when I do, I find like I'm more awakened to things, because I think a lot of people are walking around like myself on some days, just on autopilot.
Yeah. You got your schedule. You do the same shit every day. This should be coming next. This should be coming next. Just do that. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good for well-being, and it's just boring. It's just so boring. I mean, that's why we do what we do. You know, it's an escape. You know, I've got a family. I've got, like, things are a bit routine when you got a family. You know, I've got a kid and stuff, and you there's things that you got to do every day because you have to. But like I say, doing what you're doing or do what I do, it's an escape. You know, you get to just shut off for a small amount of time and just fucking have some fun.
You just want to unload too. I mean, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, when they go and work all day and they're around people all day, and they come home and they're extremely tired, even though they're like, they don't really remember what happened to the rest of the day. They just remember it was a normal day. But that normal day is filled with so many impending stress. Like, I remember being a kid, and it kind of chalked up my theory to reality television. You need conflict in your everyday life. Whether it's someone just disagreeing with you, someone doing something like this, we learn to feed off that now. It's not a natural thing, but we've developed it as we've kind of grown up. So when you don't have conflict in your everyday life, you go home and you feel empty. You feel like it was an okay day, but nothing out of the ordinary happened. So
haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, you decide to turn on reality television, and then you look up like what I did back in the day when I would just come home after no, encounters with anybody, just a normal, really easy, simple day. Felt like I was like kind of alone. I would come home, watch fucking Jersey Shore because I was like, where's the conflict? I haven't had anybody disagree with me. And next thing you know, I'm watching Jersey Shore and I want to stab a fork through my eye. It's because we want that. We love the conflict aspect of things. That's why reality television is so popular. But you also kind of want a little bit of peace. But what happens now is life is so filled with conflict. Now we're being null and void to it. We're being numb to it. It's like if you shove a bunch of bugles in your mouth and you decide to bite down really hard, one of those bugles is going to stab you on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. I mean, I remember so many moments as a kid just trying to eat a bunch of bugles. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh God, like, did I just, it's a dangerous tool, but it's also an effective snack.
It's one way of looking at it, but I don't. I will not waste any of my time. I'd rather go out and make conflict than sit down and watch any of that fucking TV. Honestly, like Jersey Shore, what Love Island? We have something called Love Island over here, which like a few of my boys like. And it's fucking garbage. I don't want to give a shit. I want to sit around and watch people making fake relationships. Because it's all fucking fake. It's none of that shit's real. It's just bullshit.
You and your friends should start one. Get the Bugle Boys in there. And what you should do is you should do one like The Bachelor. Instead of handing a rose, you just hand a bag of bugles to the person that you like.
I'd have to really like them to have to hand them over.
You could revolutionize the reality game. Like Ninja Warrior, that's an awesome show. You could change that. Instead of hitting the button at the end, there's a bag of bugles you have to get to. Like Doritos
crunch.
Yeah, like Doritos Crash Course, except you're with bugles.
All the ideas we could do.
Have you ever walked into the store?
It's worth a four, eh?
Have you ever walked into the store and actually seen anything that's off-brand of bugles? Because at my grocery store, they have like the cereal aisle. There's fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then there's an off-brand version called Cinnamon Squares, and then there's like Lucky Charms, and it's Marshmallow Mateys. I'm like, fuck is? And sometimes they don't even try, dude. You get the Fruity Pebbles, and it's called Sparkled Fruity Rocks of Flavor. I'm like, what the fuck?
We don't know. We do with the cereal shit, but it's normally you won't have like a big store which has got everything in there. It'd be like a store which is just their own sort of store, and they'll do their own knockoff version of things like saying. But yeah, I've never seen anything that's a knockoff of that.
I've never seen a knockoff. What else can you call something of that shape? Like that doesn't even. It doesn't honestly really. I mean, it kind of looks like a
corn horn.
But it's like, it looks like a bugle, I guess. But it's like, when you really think about it, it's like half of the time I open up one of those things, they're not even like bent and out of shape. It's deformed. I'm like, it
looks more like a caricature drawing of a joint, to be fair.
Yeah. It's like, what we call them instead of bugles, just call them joints. Hey, you got a bag of joints. Cops just like,
joints. What the fuck? Fucking what? What'd you say, kid? Yeah. Nah, I've never seen a knockoff. No. Some things you can't knock off. Some things are just too good.
Yeah, that's true.
You're sacrilegious to do such a thing.
Colonel Sanders' original recipe chicken.
Exactly. Back to that. That's what I'm saying. Some things you can't fuck with. Exactly. So what how long have you been doing this then?
I think it's about to be a year coming up.
Yeah. You've put out a lot of content in that time.
Yeah, I post. Before it wasn't every single day, but now it's every single day, sometimes twice a day, depending on the length of the episode. Because I do record a lot of these, mostly on like my day off. I try and record like as much as I possibly can, lose sleep, just to be able to kind of put them up there. So it's always a new person every single day. You're getting a new conversation, a new interaction. At least coming from my eyes of things. Yeah, it's just interesting because like it always changes every single time. I never know I'm hopping into. One person would be like, yeah, I like horror. And it's like, all right, yeah, what types of horror do you like? Where did that influence come from? And they're like, oh, I'm a serial killer. I'm like, whoa. Shit. Glad we're doing this over Skype.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what else? I mean, I heard you say that you into a bit of poetry, but what other things like are you really into?
Me I guess I would have to say I love the gym, obviously, but I'm really into everything. I kind of adapt anything you could really think of. I mean, I used to skateboard all the time. I love music. I love movies. I love Netflix, obviously, but anything really, it just keeps my mind to something. I always find with ADHD, I'm hopping on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Okay.
I really get jealous of people that can stick onto something and stick with it for so damn long. Like, I'm glad I found, like, besides the gym, that's been a 7-year thing I've been doing every day. And it's like, now I'm finding podcasting, and I feel like this is where I like to enjoy, because noticing from my first episode to my last and to my most recent, it's you see my knowledge change, just
You
from,
learn a lot, and like if you're talking to different people from different backgrounds, you're going to pick up a hell of a lot of new things that you don't know. How people do things, and obviously what goes on in their countries, and so on and so forth. It's a good way of learning and getting new information in, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of get an insight on the people too. Like, a lot of people, like in my own town, don't talk to each other. I've learned to change ways of myself from just, knowledge and experiences I've had with others, be a little bit more caring and forgiving, but at the same time, like, I witness a lot of stupid shit happen to public that I really want to say something about. Like, especially, like, there's this dude, I swear to God, it happened to me yesterday. He sneezed and he just did it 6 times, but with no covering up. No, nothing.
Nice.
Just open mouth. And just right in front. And I was like, I just looked at him. I was like, bro, like, are you sick? And he's like, yeah, I got a little bit of a cold. I'm like, and you're at the fucking gym?
Oh, this is in the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
I'm like, you're sick and you're at the gym? Yeah. I'm like, you're just contaminating everything. It's someone else's problem. That's when I got a bit of an issue. I'm like, all right, man, come on. Really? I mean, like, I have my days too where I'm lazy. I don't feel like walking the shopping cart all the way back to the cart return. I instead just leave it in an empty parking spot. But come on.
Yeah, if I'm not spreading germs like that, I don't want to be off work for a week because you're a twat.
Yeah, exactly. How many times do you see something in public that, like, where you really have to do you ever point something out, or you just kind of let it like slide? Like, really?
I don't know. I haven't had someone do that, but it's normally just how people's attitudes are with things. Like, it's normally people that piss me off, like walking down the high street. Like, it's normally teenagers, to be fair, in a line of 4. You're coming the opposite way. You end up having to like knock them the hell out just to get past because they're not moving. Stuff like that is the things that do my head in like that.
You want to look up something funny that's going to show a really bad group of teenagers in America? There's a group on, we have this, I live in Ocean City, Maryland, so we're a popular tourist town.
Okay.
We just had this pass, but it was this giant event called H2OI, which is like a bunch of riced out cars that are all the little Supras, all the little fast little cars, kids around 20 years old, my age. And they're all like, drift, bro, drift, turbo, shoot it.
Small dick.
Yeah, I'm like literally like, fuck. But it's like a bunch of small, like, they put duct tape all over their cars. Well, we almost went into a state of emergency because these people were in the streets. There's thousands of them in banana costumes. They were holding people up. There was at least 40 different arrests. We had state troopers coming over from Maryland, like Baltimore, Maryland, like the bridge and stuff where they have actual crime going on, coming down here because it was so bad. There were riots, like people were going to flip cars and shit. And I'm like, this all happened in a small ass town. Like, there's water on either side of us. So there's like, you take a bridge to get off. People are blocking traffic. People are doing burnouts in the street. And I remember how many times people judged me as one of those kids. I'm driving a Kia Soul. So it's a square little kind of car.
I know exactly what a Kia Soul is.
Yeah. So I'm getting gas. I got cussed out 3 times by old people.
Really?
They said, fuck you, get out of our town. I said, dude, I live here. Like, you're my fucking neighbor. Like, I'm not these people. I don't have duct tape on my car that says Ocean City Police Department sucks on it. I don't have that at all. But they judge. And this is what we talk about with media. Like, you were asking before, like, is Trump that bad over there? It's called mean world syndrome. So it's a theory that, like, it's the same reason why if you go to a retirement home, they have their channels locked on like trivia, Wheel of Fortune, all the game show type things. Because when you're old, you can't go anywhere. So you just sit at home all day. What do you do when you sit at home all day? You watch fucking TV or you do
Yep.
some other boring stuff. Well, they want to look at the news, but the news plays such a bad image on the world around them. It started scaring so many people, older people, to think that this world was corrupt and going into hell. So it's called mean world syndrome. It's the idea that the media, all these things are playing such bad influences onto you that's affecting that your outcome or look on life. And I was like, that makes 100% sense.
Oh, totally.
The government does shady shit, okay? And they don't release a lot of the shady shit they do. But the government's not the problem. It's people. You do shady shit. I do shady shit. We all do something we don't want someone to know about, whether it's a kink or whether it's a fetish, whatever the hell you want to call it. We have something we don't want somebody to know. It's the same way, but we put reliance into anything. Like you put reliance in your government to always do the right thing, but they don't tend to do it. It's like, well, because it's run by people. What are people known to be? Faulty. That's the best part about people is they're known to make mistakes. But we take that aspect of it and we run with it and put them under like an idealized or perfect society or something. Everyone's perfect. I'm like, no, fucking everything's not perfect. Bugles don't come in the perfect form. Doritos, some of them have biscuits and gravy flavor, and that's fucking crazy. And then like shit just goes out of it's literally, I don't want to drop it, but out of the blank. That's literally what the whole concept was. There's a bunch of weird shit going on. Nobody's bringing it up. Let's talk about it. We all think it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. You're so right. I just, I'm
Gucci has a tattoo
lost for words,
on his,
man.
Look, Gucci has a tattoo on his face of a fucking ice cream cone.
Yes.
And then he says burr. That is an actual thing. Post Malone,
I've seen it.
Post Malone has tattoos under his eyes that say always tired. And then I remember a comedian said, I just want to write under that, then get some fucking sleep.
Didn't because like the game's got LA in it, but it was a butterfly to start with, wasn't it?
I don't know, man. It's like when you get
I think he had like a butterfly,
crack.
and I think he got like totally bitched about it, like so he just covered up with LA.
It's like when you get an ass crack tattoo, like at the beginning, you know, that tattoo or whatever, it's a sunrise. But then when you turn like 60 or 70, it's a fucking octopus holding a starfish. Like it looks nothing like you want it to.
Oh, that sounds like a dream. I remember going to, so I've got quite a lot of tattoos. I actually went the other week as well, but yeah, and I'm most of my upper body is like completely covered now. But I remember going in one morning and there was a guy there, and he's like middle aged. You can tell he was sort of, he was in like we call it a dad bod over here. He got like a dad bod, so he's not in good shape at all. He's not fat. He's just a little bit hanging around the edges. And I was like, you conversate like what you haven't done, and he's going, I'm having this done. And he showed me the picture, and it was a tattoo of a worm coming out of a hole, but the hole was his belly button. And I was like, what the fuck? So that's coming out your belly button? Like, yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool idea. And I was like, well, fair enough, man. But like I said, when he gets older, that's shit. I mean, I hate when people say to me, oh, when you get fucking old, and tattoos are going to look awful, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, but I don't care because, I'm going to be old, so I'll probably look awful anyway. I don't give a shit what my tattoos look like because I'm going to be old and wrinkly anyway. But something like that.
It's like someone that gets a tattoo of shoelaces on their feet. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? Or you get the freaking Chinese sign on your freaking arm, and then you're like, what does that even mean? He goes, it means peace and happiness. And then some dude's like, no, that means I'm an asshole on your arm. That's what it means.
It means fucking.
It's like, do you see Chinese people or Japanese people wearing American words on their arm, like water and fire? No, you don't. It's like, why are you going to do that? I try and think of a good one, like, because the only way I would be able to get like a tattoo was one I had to really think of, like maybe a family tattoo. My uncle's a tattoo artist. So he was like, cool. The only way I can podcast with you is if you book a session with me where I don't even have to charge you. Just think of an idea you want, and that'll give me enough time so we can sit and have a good hour or so conversation. So I have to think of one now to get him on my podcast. It's gonna be him giving me a tattoo.
Is he that busy that he can't spare
literally
time?
owns his own company down here where he's literally, that's all his time, and then all his free time gets put into charity work like bicycle riding and helping neighborhood youths like get back on their feet and stuff.
Oh, good, fair play to him.
Yeah. So he's got like barely any free time. And when he does, he's
Fair.
either hanging out with his kids or doing something like that. I'm like, yo, just do a quick podcast. He's like, book a tattoo session. And I'm like, you just want me to get a tattoo? He's like, I do. I really do.
Do you reckon you'll do it?
Oh, for sure. I just got to think of one I want. I mean, I have ideas, but I definitely want to wait on it because I don't want to rush into it. Next thing you know, I got a fucking lightning bolt with a freaking coming out of a taco hanging out of my shoulder or something.
You could always have a bugle on your arm.
That's true. Would I be part of the Bugle Boys then?
Well, I don't know about that, but you know, you'll be the seventh twat in the world with a bugle tattoo on you.
I'll jump off a train to punch a girl for some bugles. Okay, maybe I won't punch her, but I'll definitely take the bugles back. And if she falls off the train tracks, that might be coincidence.
Yeah, well, that's our problem, isn't it?
Yeah, she went down to go get the bugles.
Yeah, you don't take a man's things. That's just rule number one, isn't it?
It made me immediately think of some dude walking across, like stepping in front of a train just to grab like a cookie off the tracks. Like, did you really stop for that? Be like, yeah.
I need that. Yeah. I think I've always been like with tattoos. I've obviously the things I've thought of, the things I've got which are like I've thought hard about, but I've never been that. If I like something, I'll get it done. I don't feel like, I think when you've got a lot, I don't think you look as deep into it. But especially obviously you haven't got any, so your first one, I suppose there is probably more thought in that because you like I said, you don't want to fucking lightning bolt.
Well, I remember when my brother got a tattoo and then he started getting bunches of tattoos. And then now he's like, I like it. I just like it. He's always saving his paycheck for it. I know a buddy that I work with. He's got a bunch of tattoos like pyramids and a bunch of conspiracy shit. He's got a Mothman tattoo on his body. And I'm like, the art looks cool, but it's like, do those mean anything to you? Because it's just things that I'm interested in. I'm like, it's a form of expression. So I totally get it. But then for me, I'm like, it would have to be something really, really memorable to when I want to put it on my skin. Mostly because like you were saying, a body's like a temple. My body's like, I don't want to scratch. Like even if I get a scar or something, I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? It's got to be, I still go out and do dangerous shit all the time. Like, I mean, I remember being freaking kid, taking a shopping cart on my roof and then trying to do that. My mom's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. We're going to get famous, fucking YouTube. Let's do it.
Been like the Jackass days.
Send it into AF. Remember AFE videos?
Not a clue.
Oh, wait, you're from UK. Never mind. Yeah, it's America's Funniest Videos. It was just literally like the home recordings. Like a kid would back up to swing a bat and then hit the dad in the nuts. And then it was like people would send in their tapes. Then it turned into what it is now, like ridiculousness, where it's just people doing like dumb shit on YouTube.
Yeah, now You've Been Framed, that used to be called over here, similar like thing. But yeah, that's dead and buried now. None of that's on anymore. But yeah, that was what it was back in the day. Yeah, silly like home videos of some fucking kid blowing a candle out and face getting the cake or some shit. But yeah, we didn't have wild things like going off roofs in trolleys though.
My favorite UK show that a lot of people really don't know about here is Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, that was a good show.
That improv show was the shit.
That was a fucking good show. That was like 90s over here. I think that was like in its heyday.
Oh my God.
There was always an American or Canadian guy on that, weren't there?
Yeah, it's Colin Mockery.
Yeah, I'm shit with names. I'm so bad with names.
It's the same Canadian guy. They had one guest star every time. You get like Robin Williams or something and then somebody else. But the amount, like Drew Carey was hosting it and it was like scenes from a hat. And then if you watch the bloopers, they're like always messing up and they cuss on it and stuff. And it's like, I like that aspect because it's all improv. Like
totally.
Everything's on the spot thinking, which I like the realness aspect to it. I find if you do like a show or something, if it seems like too much like Twilight, like everything's structured down to the last minute, they're so dramatic where it doesn't feel like it should be dramatic. It ends up going in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, the thing is, they don't seem to make a lot of stuff like that anymore. Like, I mean, I've seen like comedy in general. People have started to be a bit more old school with it because obviously everyone was so worried about being so fucking PC. You can't say this shit. You can't say that. It's just bollocks. But there seem to be a few more comedians getting back on the old school wagon and doing things how they used to be, and I'm so grateful for that.
It's like grateful. Dave Chappelle's new special. He got a lot of shit for it, but I was like,
is that the Sticks and Stones one?
Yeah, It's
Yeah,
like,
that's good. That was.
but he just pointed out, like, he literally made fun of the audience as his first joke. He says, I have to watch myself because of you. And he's like
Yeah.
making fun of the audience, and they're sitting there laughing and clapping. And I'm like, he is pointing out like real things that we hold to a ridiculous notion, this hate culture thing where everyone wants to feel hated. I'm like, it's a comedy show. You're paying for fucking jokes. So
Yep.
if they're funny, laugh. If they're not funny, then fucking sit on it. Like, it's all it is. It's not like it's all a form of someone's expression. I'm pro for someone's creativity, no matter
Oh,
if
for
it's
sure.
offensive, it's whatever. It's all about how you choose to run with it and choose to let that control your life. But we live in this world now where everyone wants a piece, everyone wants a handout, everyone wants reparations for something. I'm like, we don't need it.
No,
So he's
and I know we say like we shouldn't like too much agreeing with people, but no, I totally agree with that. I'm glad it's getting back to how it was. I wish more of them would do it because it's just been boring. It's been the same old like comedy because people are too scared to say how they really feel or what's really going on. The things we all know is going on. We know these things are happening. Just look at the lighter side of it. Make a laugh, make a joke out of it. And it seems to be happening again, and it is appreciated. So, yeah, I'm totally pro that for sure.
Just like, open up a bag of Bugles when you need it. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Life's better with Bugles.
I'm glad you're on that level as well.
Yeah, I don't really need a house or anything. I just need Bugles.
You're going to live in a packet.
I'll build a house of fucking Bugles.
Good luck with that. Some big bad wolf don't come.
Super glue. Lots of super glue. Well, hey, Jiggs, I really appreciate you doing the podcast.
Man, no problem at all, man. Pleasure.
I want to give you here a minute at the end to kind of promote your content, dude.
Okay, yeah, cool, man. Thank you very much. So we're a weekly podcast. Comes out every Sunday at 6 p.m. our time. You can find us on websites www.don'ttouchthebugles.com, Instagram, Twitter, at Bugles Podcast, and we have a YouTube channel, Facebook. Sort of do like a monthly video where we'll do like a behind the scenes thing of everything we've been sort of getting up to pre-show and that. But tune in. Fucking get involved. Buy some Bugles. Share the love.
Yeah, buy some Bugles and increase the happiness in your own life.
Increase the happiness, exactly.